Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Duels with the subscriber tournament for round 3. We are against FourAcesSuited with his Revolt Elves deck. So this is probably the most confident that I'm ever going to be in a matchup for this tournament, to be honest, because it's practically a mirror match. So I think it's just who goes wider first wins for the most part. So we're going to have to see. I will send him an invite and we will begin the tournament. I will see you there, guys. Alright, we're in, and we have a decent amount of lands. I think these Reclamation Sages aren't actually going to be too bad here, because he generates some servo tokens, so we have removal there. Renegade maps, yeah, I think this is a keeper. We get to play first, so we'll go for a forest into Unbridled Growth. We can sack that whenever we want to trigger Revolt if we need to. So we'll just leave that there over on the side. Could also use it to draw a card as well, but probably won't need to do that. Unbridled Growth for our opponent as well. As I said, it is a mirror match, so we're essentially going to be doing similar things for a little while. One card that he doesn't have, though, is Scarred Vine Breeder. That guy's getting in. Alright, let's go with... I guess we'll just go with a Swamp, just so that we get all of our lands untapped from this point forward. Just in case that ends up being relevant. So we've got pressure on the board. See what our opponent can do. If our opponent puts anything down on the board, though, we're not really attacking, of course. Because we can exile elves from our graveyard when that becomes relevant. And pump up our creatures. Sacks his Unbridled Growth. So does he have a Countless Gears Renegade here? He does. Okay. So... he gets to create a servo from that, but we get to ping it off with Reclamation Sage. Oh, there we go. First time we're seeing that the entire tournament. It's what the deck's built around for the most part. It, of course, is a nice value deck, but still, nonetheless. Alright, Reclamation Sage coming down. Kill the servo. And then we'll pass the turn. We've hit our land drops. We don't have Revolt to trigger, so there's no point to changing anything about that Unbridled Growth, and we'll pass the turn because we gotta get through our opponent's stuff. Gonna have to wait. So we get to Huntmaster next turn, which is gonna be nice. Our opponent's getting in. Let's see. Could have Wild Size, but that's roughly about it. Yeah, we'll just take it for now. I don't think it's worth the risk. So it's going to be a Huntmaster next turn. I don't think our opponent has any way of removing it, as far as I can tell. As long as it doesn't go into a 4/4, our opponent can't remove it, because he's got Reprisal. But that's about it. Right, we're going to go Woodland Cemetery. We need our double green. Almost punted there. And I don't think there is anything he can flash in or instant speed do that really matters to us. He does have Deadeye Harpooner though, so if he can trigger Revolt, he can kill tapped creatures. That is something to consider, but we'll get him for 3 now. And pass the turn. If our opponent attacks in, there is not a chance in hell we are blocking with our Huntmaster. So he attacked into our Reclamation Sage last time, and I assumed he had a pump spell. If he's attacking into a 3/3, I'm going to assume exactly the same. There's no blocks here. We're winning this race anyway, so it's not too bad. And eventually, ooh, first striking 2/2. That's actually problematic. And a Sunblade Elf. Interesting. Well, I guess we just go wide. Sunblade Elf. I'm not sure whether we want to hold on to the Reclamation Sage or not. Yes, we absolutely want a Warrior Elf. So just waiting for our removal, so our Bone Splinters, things like that. I guess we'll play our Reclamation Sage. Let's just get some power on the board here. And don't target anything. And no swings for combat here. We can only use our pump spell if our opponent taps out of their white, because I can't afford to pump up the Huntmaster and have it become a 4/4 so our opponent can reprise it. That would suck. Got his own Sunblade Elf, but doesn't have a white source. So it's going to stay a 1/1 for now. So if opponent swings in now with their 2/2, we'll just block it, because then they're forced to use a pump spell, which is not something that's going to be a surprise to us anymore. But I imagine they probably just skip combat. No? They actually want to get in? Fair enough. That also allows us to pump up our Vine Breeder as well, so I'm happy for an elf to die here, if it comes to it. Alright, trades off. Does trigger Revolt though, so yeah, Renegade Rallier coming down. That might be why he was so eager to get his creature killed. So he gets that back, which also gets him a servo. It's a nice little chain actually, I like it. More lands. Right, well we can pump up our team. So we could make a 3/2, a 2/2, 2/2. I'm not attacking him with anything important though. I feel like we should probably sack our Unbridled Growth. Just to, yeah, get past all of the horrible lands that we're going to end up having. So we attack, attack, attack. Pump everything up. We lose one immediately, and then the rest are just trades. I think I'm fine with that. We can't take the Vine Breeder in with his pump, and also load up our entire team. Now I'm just taking the opportunity while his white is down to pump up our team here. We have nothing else to play, so if our opponent's thinking by making this block he's forcing us to pump, it's fine with me. We can rebuild our board pretty quickly as long as we keep drawing elves. Okay. All of our creatures get +1/+1. So he loses his servo and we trade a token for one of his creatures. And deal 2 to him. Opponent's stuck on white. I don't think they need double white for anything though. And of course they can use their Sunblade Elf just the same as we can use ours with the mana they've left open. Yeah, it looks like they don't have any double white stuff, so it's not going to hurt them too much. But it does mean that they can't play white creatures and hold up Reprisal. Which may very well be what they're doing. Yeah. Alright, I think I'm going to get him with the Vine Breeder. We can't pump up our team because he's holding up his white. Should be really annoying if he just reprisalled our Huntmaster. That's pretty much our game plan gone if that happens. So let's get him with a potential 4/4, essentially. Opponent's seriously considering whether or not they want to block. Okay. We're going to have to do this in order to make the trade, because opponent can pump up to make it a 4/3. Yep. Okay, then we'll play a Renegade map. thin out a deck. We'll hold this forest in hand just in case. Just in case our opponent doesn't have our deck list open, then this is an unknown card that could be any amount of scary things. Could just be a pump spell, for all they know, or even a fog. So these are things that they've got to consider. Right, this board state's a tricky one, actually. If he doesn't play anything onto it anyway. It can become far less tricky. Another Griffin. Yeah, it's even trickier now. Ooh, Corpse Hauler. Corpse Hauler can get back the Huntmaster, or it could even get back a Vine Breeder to make more elves. I might crack the map just to thin out our deck, make sure that our draws are a lot better. Because we are going to be taking a lot of damage, and these are holding us back a little bit now. So if I crack the map, we got another land. We'd have 7 open. It's going to cost us 5 for the elf, 6, 7 for the hauler. So we can afford to get in with the Huntmaster because we can get it back next turn. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So, swing in and... swing in with everything. Except for our Sunblade Elf. Our opponent's bound to try and kill the Huntmaster. Which gets a first striker off the board. There's no real cost to us because we can just Corpse Hauler it back and cast it in the same turn next turn. Now if our opponent doesn't block at all, then we pump, play a land. So our opponent's going to take the Sage off the board. Changes his mind. That block doesn't make too much sense to me unless they think we've got a pump spell. Because the first strike always deals damage first, so even if I select the Sunblade Elf first, the Razorfoot Griffin's going to be the first to deal damage. We're going to pump anyway. And no damage is dealt to his creatures. Play a Forest. Play the Corpse Hauler. Should have cracked our map maybe first so that we kept an unknown in hand. Because the Forest we just played there could have been the one that we got off the map for all they knew. So if our opponent goes for a servo strategy, we can get back the Reclamation Sage. We can also get back the Vine Breeder and exile the Sage to make it a 4/4, and it'll also get us an extra elf as well. Thanks to the Huntmaster. Opponent gets him for 2. Yeah, that's fine. Wild Size is the biggest thing that they can hit us with. And that's +2/+2 and Trample. Rallier is pretty great, actually. Because we can crack the map to trigger Revolt. Get a Forest for our Primal Bellows. Then we can play the Forest. We can't attack him with the Huntmaster because he can double block with the Griffins and they'll both kill it before it deals damage, so just gonna Renegade Rallier here. Sack the Corpse Hauler to get the Reclamation Sage. and then get the Vine Breeder. Actually, we could just get the Corpse Hauler to get the Vine Breeder, but that doesn't really help us in the long run, really. Let's just get the Vine Breeder, I guess. It's an extra cast on the Huntmaster, I guess, but such a roundabout way of getting power on the board. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Primal Bellows +4/+4. We can go around our opponent with a Primal Bellow, but if he's got a Reprisal, it hurts. Let's see. What do we want to do about this? I guess take one off the board. But a wild... Down in Shores, a wild size doesn't save it. And he still could kill 2 of them, I suppose. But it gets it off the board. We're going to make another elf token anyway, so... Okay, no pump spell. Called his bluff. Renegade Rallier, he wanted it back. So now he gets to go grab the Sunblade. Oh no, he's going for the Countless Gears Renegade that gets him a servo that Reclamation Sage is going to kill. Oh my god, more lands! I cannot get a break in this tournament. I really cannot. Right. Let's get ourselves another elf. Kill that. Yep. I want to make our land drop, or are we good? Don't have any elves in the graveyard just yet. Suppose holding a card in hand's a lot better than just playing one out. We've hit so many lands that the chances of making a land drop off the top is slightly lower, but this is the luck I've come to expect in this tournament. Gets in for 4, potentially lethal if he's got double wild size. No. Oh. So we need a fog or a pump spell, and we need to fade our opponent's removal. It's down to whatever we draw off the top now. Oh my god. We cannot win, can we? Swinging with everything. He blocks, blocks, and blocks. Takes 2, 4, 6 if we pump. And that be game. Yep. Well, doesn't that just suck? I guess we go for it. Let's cast a Vine Breeder. Pre-combat. And swing in with everything. We did. It's a bad draw off the top every time. Pumps and pumps, he's going to kill both of them. Going to kill that as well. He's going to take 6. And that's going to be us dead. Oh. He got his own pump. Yeah. He pumps, we all pump for defeat. Ah, that sucks. Has he got that reprisal for the Huntmaster? He doesn't need it. But maybe he has it. Yeah. Well, lost every game in this tournament so far. What's the point in changing now? Seems to be working for me. And that's game. Yeah, well, maybe I've just got a bad deck. I could also say that it might just be a really crap deck. Because I made a meta call that I was expecting auras to be a big thing. Which is why there's so many Reclamation Sages that have been dead, but, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see. Right, there's still more games to go. I will see you in the next one though, guys. Alrighty then, we have 4 lands, a Renegade Rallier, we do have a Chorus of Might this time, and a Primal Bellow, so we do have, well, the Primal Bellow is actually completely dead in this hand. I'm just going to throw it back. This one's a little better, I suppose. We got a Swamp, we have 2 Bone Splinters to get rid of his Flyers, which were the biggest factor in how he won last time. So we'll save these for those guys. Maybe even a Lifecraft Cavalry if he ends up playing one of them, which is this card. If he manages to trample one out, then that might be a good idea. And we get an Unbridled Growth. We're just going to go with a Vine Breeder though, get some power on the board. Now I imagine we're going to see a similar situation to the last round and see a Countless Gears Renegade come down, make himself a servo. Which will stop us right in our tracks. No, we don't. Plays land and passes. Okay. Well, we get to Forest and swing for 1. I don't think there's anything here that we have to worry about. Should also be noted he's got Nimbus Wings as well in his deck, so it's not just what's the Majiggers? Razorfoot Griffins that we've got to worry about as far as flyers are concerned. Because he can stick it on any creature really, but yet again, we've got Bone Splinters to slow that down. Losing a 1/1 to a Bone Splinters to get rid of one of his flyers is absolutely no cost to us. Is it land and pass again? A very odd play. I would have thought he'd have something. Especially since we're drawing pretty much dead. Alright, we do get our Cavalry next turn though, so maybe we are actually going to do something fun here. I might crack the Growth since we're going to be able to crack the map to trigger Revolt next turn anyway. Because we might hit a 2 or a 3 drop we want to play. And we just get a Growth back, so... this will do again. Reclamation Sage, that's not too bad. If we'd have hit those in the opposite order, that would have been fine, but... alas, we did not. Opponent goes with a Razorfoot Griffin. We're not going to remove it just yet, because we can just get our Cavalry down that can push right through that. So that is exactly what we will do. And a Corpse Hauler to get back one of our creatures after we Bone Splinters it. Our opponent could of course just have... yeah, we want to Plains here. Trigger our Sunblade Elves when it comes to it. Our opponent could just have Reprisal, and then we're going to have to Corpse Hauler it back. At a later date as well, because we can sack the Corpse Hauler to trigger the Revolt, so that we can cast it back again. So if we can do all of those things in one turn, or even just get a Bone Splinters down, which also triggers Revolt, then that's something we can do. Opponent grabs a Forest. They're not needing double green for anything, are they? No. Countless Gears Renegade. Five power on board. They're getting in with their first striker. Okay. They must have a reprisal then. That's fine with us. Yep, there it is. Hello, Huntmaster. How are we this evening? Right. Well, on that note, we missed our land drop. If we'd have hit a land, we'd have been able to do 2 things this turn, but unfortunately that is not the case. We're going to have to get the Huntmaster down there so that Sage actually does something interesting. And we'll hold our Bone Splinters until we absolutely need it. Because Huntmaster can create some pointless little tokens for us to use our Bone Splinters on. Now, Graveyard is just the Cavalry. We don't want to exile that with the Vine Breeder. Sage is going to come down and kill the Servo. If I were him, I would have probably swung in with everything, because I'm not going to block with either of these. Opponent doesn't, of course, know what's in my head, so they might think that I'm more than happy to make that if they don't have the answer to it. Countless Gears Renegade. No Revolt trigger this time. We get a Fog. That could come in handy. We're getting all of our little tricks now. Right, well, I guess it's going to be Reclamation Sage plus Corpse Hauler to get back the Cavalry later. And then we can Bone Splinters if we hit a land, sacking one of our elves to kill one of his creatures to trigger Revolt for the Cavalry. That relies on us hitting a land though to get that Revolt trigger. Right, let's go Reclamation Sage. Get an elf. Kill the Servo. And play the Corpse Hauler. No reason to hold up any of the stuff. And 4 power on board, I'm not swinging into that. I want a Chorus of Might. That'd be sweet. Opponent getting in with everything. Okay. Well, this is a Renegade Rallier right here then, isn't it? Do I care if he does it? We trade, he gets a Rallier back. But if we don't block, then he's got free reign to keep doing this for as long as he wants. It's a tough one, actually. I want to go down to 10. No, I'll force some things off the board. More specifically, just one thing. It's a target for our Vine Breeder, I suppose, then, as well. It's not all doom and gloom. But this is going to be a Renegade Rallier now. Oh, maybe not. Cavalry instead. Got Bone Splinters for you, son. Another Huntmaster, though. So we could Huntmaster Bone Splinters, swing in with loads of stuff. Yeah, that seems good to me. We're not at risk of dying, so kill that, sack the Summon Sick elf token we just generated. Every elf that we cast now is going to make us 2 elf tokens. Swing in with everything. Alright, down to 11. Love to draw an elf next turn. An elf next turn means we can get this guy off the board and we can start swinging in for an alpha strike again. Or a land allows us to set up the Corpse Hauler for a future turn so that we can get Life-Craft Cavalry. Didn't trigger Revolt on the Harpooner. Otherwise he'd have been able to take out our Huntmaster there. Ooh. What does that get us? It's mana cost 2 or less. So it doesn't really get us too much, actually. But we can Bone Splinters to trigger it. Get back Unbridled Growth, I guess. Which we can then draw a card off of. Trigger Revolt. How do we want to do this? This is 3 mana. Leaves us 2 mana open there as well. I don't want to just fire off a Bone Splinters if I don't feel like I need to. I guess we'll Vine Breeder. If he forces us to exile, then we exile the Rex Sage. Let's see what he wants to do. He's going to turn it into a 4/4, so he's going to need to double block to kill it. Or use a pump spell. Okay. We exile Reclamation Sage. Reprisal, yeah, that's fine. That is 2 of 3 reprisals, so pretty soon we'll be able to Sunblade Elf Pump without any fear of removal from that point. If it even comes down to that, we might not even find our Sunblade Elves. That is just my luck. So, whatever the worst luck is, that's what I'm going to be having. Really need an elf though. Should be noted these are cast triggers as well, so I can't just pull a Vine Breeder out of the graveyard with a Rallier and get 2 elves. I have to actually cast it from my hand. Opponent gets in for 2 with their first strikers. Sure. Down to 10. And a Cavalry. Yeah, again an elf would be nice so that we can Bone Splint as a token. Cavalry. Without Revolt triggered. Is that still good? We could sack a Corpse Hauler. Play a Vine Breeder. That taps us out though. I think we'll just match his Cavalry. Get 2 elves to set up an extra turn. For our Rallier to come back and then grab Vine Breeder, I guess. Alright, let's get 2 elves. Yes, and yes. And pass. Right, really wanting to find a Chorus of Might. Has his final reprisal. Really want to find a Chorus of Might. Because that's +6/+6 and trample on one of our creatures. We can go quite wide on him as well. See if he only had 3 creatures after he attacks in here. He blocks, blocks, and blocks. Takes 3, 9. Just off that alone. But then we probably just Huntmaster, trample, that kind of thing. If he attacks him with his trampler, we'll take it. Although if he attacks him with his trampler and his flyer, no, that's fine. That would deal significantly more and that'd be kind of worrying. But I think we can take that. We also have a Fog in hand to fade 1 attack of him as well. So when he goes in for his lethal hit, we Fog and we buy ourselves a turn. And another Fog. Okay. So. Bone Splinter's the flyer because we can't interact with it at all. Triggers Revolt. We play Rallier. Rallier gets back Vine Breeder. Yeah. So kill that. Sack a token. Play the Rallier. Holding up a Fog. Get back a Vine Breeder. We could swing in with our Hunt Masters, but if he triggers Revolt on his next turn with a Harpooner, he can kill them. He can also double block one, maybe even pump spell one. Could get him with a Corpse Hauler, I suppose. At the very least, that's definitely going to happen. Yeah, I think we've just got to get really aggressive here. So if we swing in with absolutely everything, then we've got a Fog to stop him. Especially if we don't like what we see after the blocks, we can Fog as well, I suppose. Though I'd rather not do that, since our opponent could potentially kill us. Blocks a Huntmaster. Blocks a Huntmaster. Taking 7. Okay. Past the turn, we have Fogs in hand, so we don't have to block. Our opponent doesn't have any burn, of course. So if we can push 4 points past our opponent in the next 2 combat steps, essentially, we can win. Opponent plays a land. They go to combat. We Fog them. No blocks. I think that's our game in a nutshell. I think we just won. Yes! I got a game. Screw you, land. Alright, let's go to combat. Swing in. And on to game number 3. Oh, I'm so close. Alright, complain about not getting the draws that you need. You get the draws that you need. Good to know. I'm learning these bad habits. Awesome. Right, I'll see you in the next game, guys. Okay, final game. We're on the play. This one is a bit iffy. I feel like we can do better, but I feel like we can do a whole lot worse as well. We're not playing a creature till turn 3 though, which is the problem. Let's throw it back. Oh, a black land, and this might be alright. Play a forest. We've got our Huntmaster, which is our way of winning the game, apparently. Forest into Renegade map for our opponent. So we need another coloured land here. In fact, we need to just hit land drops for the next couple of turns. Oh, wonderful. Alright. Corpse Hauler onto the field. That's a little bit of power. It's better than our crappy 1/1s that we've been playing up until this point. So even if he does play a Renegade, if he cracks the map, it's going to be a Renegade. Even if he does do that. Ooh, Unbridled Growth. Maybe not then. He's probably just setting up for another turn. Sunblade Elf. Sure. I'll trade a Corpse Hauler for that. 2/2 for a 2/1. Another Huntmaster. Alright. We just need to hit a land drop, and this hand is pretty silly. Makes me want to hold on to the Sage, though. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. I'm going to swing in for 2. See if our opponent blocks. Probably not. Yeah. At this early stage, your life total's a little bit of a resource that should be used. Excuse me. I don't think I want to play the Reclamation Sage. That being said, the Huntmaster can trigger the Huntmaster, so Let's just keep pressure on the board. We can target the map or the Unbridled Growth, either one. It doesn't really matter. Let's take the growth off, just so it maybe cuts him off a colour that he already has. I'm just reaching for excuses at this point. Either way, he could just sack either one of them in response, so... At least this way, if we don't target the Renegade map, he had a better chance of drawing a land that way. By not thinning his deck. So we need a land drop next turn. Preferably a white source, so that Rallier can be cast at the very least. It won't trigger the Huntmasters, but it's something down the line. Nonetheless. Opponent makes their land drop. And Countless Gears Renegade. It's another reason why I was kind of iffy about playing the Sage there. Especially if we don't hit our land drop this turn. But a land would just be perfect. Scarred Vine Breeder. Not sure what I think about that. I guess it's another elf, but what's another elf really doing for us right now? Well, it has no utility value like the Reclamation Sage, I suppose, so let's just play it. No swings. Could offer trades, but I'd rather not. Fair enough. Well, we'll force a pump spell, which also allows us to trigger Vine Breeder if we don't hit our land drop. We'll take the rest. So, wild size. See, we could double block and ensure that it dies, but then he doesn't have to wild size in order to kill 2 creatures, and he's still 2 for onesies. This way we kind of get a card out of his hands that we don't really care for. We take 5. We get value into our graveyard. And we miss our land drop again. Is this what this game's going to come down to? Because that would really suck. That would suck beyond belief. Alright, let's hit our opponent for 6. Exile Reclamation Sage from the graveyard. Rallier can't grab the Reclamation Sage either, so it's just down to the Corpse Hauler, and I'd rather not sack him. It essentially means the Sage costs us 6 mana to take down a servo, so that does not help us. Just need these damn land drops. Come on. We've won a game. It's the first one we've won in the entire tournament. I just do not... Is this just +1/+1? It is. It's not counters. Okay. I do not want this to come down to a 2-1 because I got mana screwed. That would be so depressing. Alright, opponent gets in for 5. We hit our land drop, so we get our Huntmasters. Do I swing in? If we don't swing in, then I can offer trades with the Sunblade Elf, I suppose, so... And the Vine Breeder by itself won't get through because of this guy. So we'll hold back. We get a Huntmaster next turn, which generates us an Elf token. So that we can Bone Splinter something. Okay. Block. Take 5, 6, 7, potentially. It's not a good idea, is it? I guess we'll block there, since we're going to get another 1/1 back anyway. So, wild size again. Saves one of his creatures, loses another. He's got 3 on board. We've got 3 on board after that, so worst case scenario, we can block everything. Yeah. Take 2, 4, 6. Down to 2. We get a land drop so we can fog. Or we can bone splinters. Fog or bone splinters? What's better? We attack him with a Huntmaster, he harpooners it. So we can't attack. He's got 2 more wild sizes left. Yeah, I think we just best hold up fog. Can use bone splinters at a later date, I suppose. Pass the turn. So if we're going to die, we fog. We block however we need to. Nimbus Wings, we're going to die, so we have to fog. But now we get to Bone Splinters, the Nimbus Wings creature off the board. I guess. We need an elf here, so we can go wide. And we need our opponent to not have a Nimbus Wings for the next creature. There's an elf. So, Druid, generate 2 elves. Bone Splinters killing this one, sacking one of our tokens. Right, we just need to fade. Do I get in for an attack? I suppose I do, because he's got 3 mana, so he needs an extra land and Unbridled Growth to sack the Unbridled Growth to trigger Revolt. So I can afford to take one of his creatures off the board, I suppose. We just lose to a Nimbus Wings, so we can't really afford to not get in a little bit of damage here and there. Get opponent down to 9. Do we lose? Nimbus Wings will do it. What else will do it? Just any flyer will get us the turn after next. Right, here's where it counts, because now we have to double block both of them. So, double block there and there, because if he wild sizes, it would deal too much to us. In fact, it's currently already dealing 2, so if he does wild size that, we lose. Unless we... No, this is the only way we can do it. The only way. We lose to a pump spell. Does not have the pump spell. Can now rally things back though. You could have also harpooned to get rid of our Huntmaster, but that didn't happen. Gets the Nimbus Wings back. We need a Bone Splinters or a bust. Chorus of Might. Doesn't do it, does it? Well, we swing in with everything. We can do 5 damage. Actually, we can pump this guy. Keep him off the board. Deal 4. Rally her down. Come on. Come on. Fade some removal. Fade it. Don't have it. Don't have anything good. Come on. Come on. It's time to get lucky. We need it. Okay, that's 1 creature. Our opponent's taking 3 this turn. They have to block. There's nothing they could have, right? No. There's nothing in their hand they could have that stops them from having to block here. They take 3. If we had a white source, we'd have more power on the board, but we don't. Come on. Just one more good hit in. That's going to do it. Oh! Alright. That was too close for comfort. And we hit a land drop. The bad land as well. Swing in. Opponent blocks 1, takes 3 from the other. That's going to be game. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I won a game in a tournament, guys. I think that might be the first time ever. It's certainly the first time in this tournament, I can tell you that. Alright, guys. Well, that puts me on 3 points in this tournament. I still don't think I can win the tournament, but I'm glad I could at least get a win out of it before I got knocked out, so that's good. So if you did enjoy the content, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal. Lets me know you're enjoying the series. As always, be sure to subscribe for some more Magic Duels content in the future. If you do have your tournament matchups, of course, the deadline is the Tuesday, so be sure to get that in as soon as possible. And that's about it, really. Like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell icon, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.